Azami banned out so far. Beast Coast have banned Nook in every single game coming into this matchup, except for one. 5 bans on Nook so far. SQ have done a lot of Hibana bans, but they like Thatcher on this map. Historically, Finka. That's the first time banning this operator.
Is that the first Finka ban?
No. We've definitely seen Finka bans so far in the NAL this stage, and we saw it a bit at the Major as well.
For Soniqs, Jesse.
For Soniqs, I believe it's their first. Valkyrie, very common. I believe they banned Valkyrie every single time they played this map. They played it 3 times last stage. And then coming in for Beast Coast, again, they do like their Azami bans, both these teams, and it does come through.
Unsurprising. Azami has the, I believe, the highest prominence rate of every single operator. What does prominence mean? It means in terms of pick rate and also ban rate.
Indeed.
Usually that tends to be Thatcher, I think. Most stages, Thatcher tends to have the highest prominence. Sometimes we'll see Mira up there as well.
Yes.
In this particular instance, Azami quite strong. And we've actually been doing exit interviews with these teams too, asking the question, what do you think of Azami? And they all tend to say the same thing. Well, she's a little strong.
Yes. The devs talked a little bit about how sometimes we've seen Beast Coast not go to that bar games site. That is the most popular site. It's typically considered to be the best site on this map. A lot of people, myself included, would tell you that this bomb site, Wine and Snowmobile, is the worst site on the map. I'm not a big fan of it. I think it's very easy to kind of take this going in through Big Garage, clearing out Kitchen, and pushing the Wine site. If teams do decide to go for the Snowmobile side of things, it can be okay. You do have to roam very heavily on this bomb site. We're going to see that from Beast Coast already. That's why Surf's jumping in onto the Alibi. We're going to see Sweater on that Wamai. They should be running around through this top floor for a little while here.
Jesse, you love when casters do this. When I look at the stats per bomb site with no further context and tell you what I think of them. Well, Chalet's been played twice so far this stage. And would you believe it, that Wine Cellar Snowmobile is actually the most defender-favored bomb site. Could you believe that?
It's a small sample size, Parker.
You know how many times it's been played?
How many times?
5. You know how many times the defensive won?
How many times?
3 of those 5 times. That's it. Very, very tiny numbers. Either way. We can go back and again refer to the Charlotte Major statistics, as those tend to be more accurate.
Wow, already the wall being opened up. The Kaid not delaying at all as we get the main wall opened up. Both of the Selma charges being used initially by Yeti. He's got one more in his pocket. Super being on the Hibana, likely going to come in through the back and open up into the Wine Bomb site. So they've got both angles open. This create a really nice pinch onto the site, and it's going to be really limiting the positions that we see from Beast Coast inside the bomb site.
The last bit of the Selmas were used to open up an even larger hole into the bottom of that garage. So any denial that was set up by Beast Coast, likely the mute, as that's I imagine where they had that, since there's still 1 electric law left. Unless the idea was that Drip would try to juggle that wall, I'm not entirely certain. The backup hard breach going off now on the Wine wall, Super opening up small areas. Drip is down, and now Yeti gets a Claymore kill and a kill of his own. Starting things off, Slash downs 1, Surf and answer back. Suddenly Soniqs are in excellent position. Surf blinded in the midst of Wine as Super gets the diffuser planted. Slash tucked into a corner at the bottom of main stairs. Surf slaughtered by Grixer, and the diffuser down. Soniqs really like their objective play, led by their fearless leader of Super. Nitro Cell goes out by Slash. No damage done. He's down by a soft wall. Nice angle, but Grixer gets 2 for his troubles, and Soniqs take round number 1.
This is why I don't like this bomb site, Parker. You can have a good roam, but initially the attackers don't actually have to engage with that roam. They can open up the Snowmobile bomb site from outside. There's really not a lot of paths to be able to flank and pinch and deal damage to the players if they're coming at the Wine bomb site from Big Garage. It's really difficult for those roamers to actually have an impact. And we saw when Beast Coast were returning back to the bomb site, when they were trying to get back in, they were just getting slaughtered from that Yeti angle from the Snowmobile Garage. So nice attack from Soniqs. That was Beast Coast's first loss on that bomb site. They played it twice in their last matchup. They went 2 for 2 against SSG, but Soniqs would break the streak and manage to take their attacking round here in round number 1.
All right, well, now upstairs they go to Kitchen Dining. Guess how many times it's been played so far, Jess?
How many times, Parker?
I'm going to keep doing this to you just because it's a pet peeve. On the drive over to the studio, we were talking about bomb site statistics. And we were talking about team-specific bomb site statistics. I said, yeah, you know, I like to just give a general overview of how the map goes. And Jesse goes, I don't like those statistics without context because you don't know what operators are banned and what they're playing, etc. So I'm going to tell you, Kitchen Dining has been played 6 times.
Okay, and how many times has it been won?
It's been won twice. So not ideal by the defenders. Attackers have won it 4 of the 6 times.
Well, Parker.
So it sounds like the attackers actually have a really good opportunity here for the Soniqs, who just toppled Beast Coast on the single greatest defender-sided bomb site on this map.
Okay.
Statistically.
Calm down.
Through the 5 times it's been played.
Can I give you a better stat?
Give me a better stat.
Straight up better. Beast Coast have played Kitchen themselves 3 times in their one game against SSG. They lost it twice defending it. They were only able to defend it successfully a singular time. And while that is a lower sample size, it's more dialed in, it's more specific, it's more valuable. And Rexon is missing more shots as a player sprints across his reticle sweater. Lucky to be alive there.
Guide your eyes to the left side of the screen and see that there was not a single point of damage that was done to Beast Coast. So Sweater not only gets out of that position, but does so in remarkable form. A miss from Rexon, and especially with a bullet hose that F2, seems quite unusual, but either way. Gets one away. Kansan takes down Surf. That was the roam of the alibi. Upstairs, no more Soniqs after flushing out that position of the Wamaya Sweater. Half control of Library. Down goes Slash to a nice nade tossed out by Grixer. So Soniqs opening things up. They were in a 5v3 in round number 1, and they find themselves in that same spot here in round 2. The
body of Slash dropping down the hatch to fall down into the basement. We've got now a 2-man advantage for the Soniqs who want to take control of this top floor. That's what they've done. There's a little bit of pressure from Drip over on the Solar stairs. Sweater peeks up from his own staircase and finds the head of Grixer. Nice little shot from him, and another gunfight from Kansan. Smartly, Beast Coast are backing off here. I don't mind that Beast Coast are trying to go for swings, trying to get aggressive because they're in a really big hole right now, and I like that they're trying to dig themselves out of it.
On a map like Chalet, some of these bomb sites, especially a kitchen defense, do not work out for you well if you just sit in the bomb site because of the fact that the entire ceiling over top is destructible. So if you don't take those opportunities to try and equalize numbers, you're just going to sit in the bomb site and wait to die, especially against a team like Soniqs who have so many of these offensive threats. Work being done from Soniqs above. Again, we talked about that ceiling being something that you need to worry about. Well, in this case, it works both ways. Drip's Nitro Cell takes out Kansan. Suddenly, the numbers equalize into a 3v3.
We see no soft destruction after Kansan goes down. He's a really important operator to open up angles. Rexon saw a foot right there. He's going to challenge it again, but almost gets punished. He does. Downed by Yeti up above. Beautiful play from him. They've got pings, and there's the foot finished off by SQ. That puts them into the man advantage once more. They can continue to play with this top down. I love how quickly they were able to take control of that top floor and start using it to their advantage.
Smokes will go out to cut off line of sight, and now bursting in towards Kitchen will be the Soniqs. Anthony repositions. Talked a lot about his prowess as a player. What can he bring to the table right now? There's a singular kill on Rexon before retreating down the stairs. Yeti to cover while Super gets the diffuser planted. He's safe as can be. Yeti having a great game. That leaves just Sweater upright, and Yeti finds them all in the final minutes. He's very happy about that one. A huge performance from Yeti so far. Statistically, having a down season over what we come to expect from him. But he's making up for lost time here on Chalet. Soniqs are up 2-0.
Yeti, the worst entry in the league. We see him having a lot of these impacts late in the round through the last couple of rounds we've seen so far from Soniqs. I like him in that position a lot more. He's really been able to secure things down. In that last round, Super planting the kit down onto the ground meant that Yeti had a lot of weight on his shoulders, cleaned up both those kills very nicely. Beast Coast not necessarily playing that wrong in the final 2v2. They were trying to push aggressively. They were trying to get some damage down onto Yeti. They needed to fight him, and unfortunately, they just lost the gunfights there.
Oh.
Back to my favorite bomb site.
You want to know the stats on it?
I don't. You're going to have to stop that.
Okay, it's actually dead even now, though, because it is such a small sample size. Down they go. What happened for the Soniqs? Well, number one, there was a Claymore that was planted, I believe, in the library, which is the jump out that netted Yeti's first kill, along with his weaponry. There's only been one Claymore kill per team, I think, so far.
Yes.
You looked at these numbers last night, if you'd like to reference them.
Yeah, well, so far there were 3, before this game, there were 3 Claymore kills in the NAL. I believe Drip Boolin had one, we had Penguin having one, and then we had Eclipse having the 3rd Claymore kill in the league so far. So that's a 4th. Jumping up on the list is Yeti. We'll keep track of that stat to see who is the Claymore King at the end of the stage.
Now, I mean, even if Yeti falls off and has a bad performance, he's got 6 kills to his name through those 2 rounds. That is incredible stuff. The Electric Claw that was on the main wall of Garage disabled. The Selmas go off like clockwork. This is very reminiscent of what we saw of Soniqs back in round number 1.
Yeah, I just don't like that they're dedicating an entire operator, keeping the snowmobile wall closed, and then like it still gets open in a second because they've got a Thatcher, they've got Hard Breach. I mean, it's not really a problem for them. They can still use one of those claws for the hatches, so that's nice. But again, like you've got a Thatcher up on the board. If that's something that Soniqs really want to take down, and last round I don't believe it was, then they probably will be able to. So I'm not 100% confident on this Kaid pick. Hasn't found a lot of value, but Rexon up on the top floor in a long battle almost dies, but Sweater, he wants to keep fighting this. He's already killed so much time, and why would he repeat it with Rexon taking the gunfight, then Super finds a second on a slash. It's all falling apart for Beast Coast.
Nicely played. Beast Coast continuing to lose their numbers. A kill for Yeti onto the board. Super a second of his own, miles away from the bomb site. That leaves the Tachanka. Do you believe in the Lord? Anthony, down in the midst of the bomb site, sitting by a bomb, in wine. Every single player from Soniqs still alive. Electric Claws come back, so there'll be a little bit of damage, but more importantly, they'll hear when one of the attackers walks through the round. Super a big 3K, and it's a flawless round for Soniqs. Excellently done.
Anthony, the lowest rated player in the league right now in a 1v5.
I love this camera angle, by the way.
You do, from the top down.
Yeah, Goddess just breaks open one of those little hand warmer packets and throws it to Rexon. It's just like, that's the kind of teamwork that makes
the coordination.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes sense.
Super a 3K. Yeti gets a kill in that round, continues his streak. Soniqs are looking so formidable for Beast Coast on a map like Chalet. I know that you hate referencing this, but Chalet does and has been recently skewed in favor of the attackers. So the fact that Soniqs are up 3-0 is not necessarily cause for concern just yet.
You're right, and I don't mind that stat because it's got historical backing, right? Chalet has always, since being introduced in the map pool, been an attacker-sided map. You're welcome.
We love context.
We do, and I agree, like Soniqs going up 3-0 is not a disaster. The problem is if this trend continues, right? A 4-2 split favoring Soniqs is okay, it's not great. Anything worse than that, despite this being an attacker-sided map, is dangerous territory for Beast Coast. We had Joe on last week, and one thing Joe said to me, we did.
He was here.
As an analyst, he was.
He stood next to you.
He was, and one thing he told me is that it was a different map, but he said after a 5-1 split, no team has been able to come back from that. That was on Border. And then his own team came back from that and ended up getting their own 5-1 split. They won it in overtime. So that's just one statsman to another explaining how tough it can be to come back from a 4-round deficit in Rainbow Six Siege. Of course it can happen. There's no carryover between rounds. And, you know, if your players start playing a little goofy, that can certainly slip away from you. But Soniqs are a very formidable team. I'm expecting them to be able to close this one out if they can get a dominant half like that.
No team has used their timeout yet. I think that's worth noting. Soniqs have the opening pick in every single round, and if it wasn't for the fact that Super was fragging out of his mind in that previous round, it would have been 3 in a row for objective play 2. Soniqs like to get that case planted. Diffuser down. They've been successful through those 2 interactions so far with the site. Sweater leadoff kill for Beast Coast. First time that First Blood goes in their favor, and maybe a Kitten Coast game? No, not to be found, at least not in this round. Grixer equalizes, but Anthony's there for backup, and he seeks shelter over in the kitchen bomb site. So map control held and then released with 2 minutes to go in the round.
Great swing from Anthony for the trade. Rexon's still fighting up at the top floor as well. The roamers of Beast Coast falling off. They don't need to hold on to Library, especially not after they've already traded a couple of players back and forth. Super going down means there's no hard breach left to open up this wall into the kitchen bomb site. It's going to be very difficult then from them inside a fireplace to make that execute work. They're going to likely have to go down through the solar stairs or walk through that very tight hallway and enter the door of dining. That's probably ill-advised. I think their best chance here for the Soniqs is to get more kills on this roam and then go down through solar, which means Beast Coast really shouldn't be playing this too aggressively. I don't want to see them taking any fights here. I want to see them holding it back a little bit. I want to see them wasting time. I think where they're at right now is fine, but if they see drones, if they see players, they need to back out of there. It's not worth taking fights at the moment.
Kansas inside of the main lobby, closing in on the bomb site, potentially. The fact they've lost Super is not ideal, right? That lack of hard breach, not what you want on this kitchen bomb site. You can't crack open the front from lobby into kitchen, but that's okay because the Soniqs actually favored a back take last time around, and I really think the only state of mind they would find themselves in without a hard breacher is what are we going to do with those hatches? How are we going to put some more of our presence towards kitchen there? Numbers for Beast Coast continue to improve as Kansan is next one down. It's Rexon and Yeti. There goes Slash. So at least a kill from Yeti, a double from Yeti, but Surf answers that. Rexon will need to clutch out if Soniqs want to maintain their perfect streak. He's got the diffuser in his hands, but Is he just going to sit and wait? 20 seconds to go. Kills are the answer. If anybody can pull it off on this team, Rexon's got to be among them. But he'll be hunting for phantoms. There's nobody around, a little bit of twitching. Limited intel, there go the smokes. Try to bait them out, a long-range shot. And good patience from Beast Coast. He'll have to go for the plant. And that's what he'll do, and it's not going to happen. He falls off, and nobody dies. 3 players still left on the server. Beast Coast hang on to that one, and they pick up their first round.
It was a smart little play from Yeti late to rotate in through the dining, going in through the fireplace hallway, but unfortunately, with that big of a man disadvantage, it's just so hard to be able to claw that one back. Maybe if we'd seen Rexon pushing at the same time down Solar, we could have seen something happening there, but it still was so difficult to trade that I just don't think it was ever going to be going Soniqs' way. That initial kill onto Super, proving to be so impactful. I like the Beast Coast have seen in this game that they're going down by 3 rounds. They are starting to struggle. They're saying, okay, let's get a little more aggressive. Let's start swinging. Let's go for some plays that maybe aren't going to be expected by the Soniqs. Let's try to disrupt things a little bit early on in these rounds. That's exactly what happened that round, and it got them the early advantage, which was enough to carry on into the round win.
We are finally seeing another bomb site, though, Jesse. Look at that. Ooh. Oh, would you look at that? We're going upstairs to Office and Master, which has not been won by a defender so far this stage.
True.
I know that you don't want to be referencing the stats, I get it. But it's an attacker-sided bomb site through what we've seen. Yeah. Obviously not great for Beast Coast. I am a little surprised they haven't brought out the Bar Gaming bomb site yet. That was, for a period of time, the most played bomb site on this map. It seems to have fallen out of favor among teams.
Yeah, I think this top floor is like, it's gotten a little bit better. There's some cool Azami strats you can do with it. Of course, Azami banned out here by Beast Coast, so we're not going to see any of that. Sometimes we do see the castle being brought as well. Just the problem with the site is just all the windows, right? The window on the master bedroom is so devastating to cut off angles. The walls.
From the windows to the walls.
The window. I think that's a music reference.
I think that's part of the problem.
Well, that'll not help, certainly, if the attackers can get those walls open, Parker. But from Beast Coast so far, they do control the entirety of the top floor. There's 2 different ways to take this. You can either go library side and try to clear the entire top floor, or you can just hit it from Solar. Yeti, the opener, and he's going to be able to take that actually from the bottom floor. Nice little shot through the window to take down Slash in the roam.
10 kills with still 2 minutes left to go in round number 5 is a hell of an achievement, especially for a player who has been on the bottom of the Soniqs in terms of effectiveness. And I would dare say it has actually been the worst player on the team in terms of value added, given Super's role. Rexon takes out yet another player from Beast Coast. Anthony goes down to Grixer. So far, all 3 kills from Soniqs coming from 3 separate players. A team ace still on the board, but Kansan's been quiet. We'll need to find more than a single kill. And Super's 3 kills all coming in 1 round means that he needs to break that streak as well. Just Drip and Surf left. Drip right now inside the bomb site. Here's some gunfire over towards the balcony. There's Super to get one. Kansan, can he complete the team ace? Down goes Rexon. Surf is there, but Kansan can still find that kill. Still possible. Walls breaking open. Surf taking some damage, and no, Super actually gets a 2-piece. Team ace denied, but Soniqs won't care about that one because they decisively win that first half. They're up 4-1.
There was some secondary utility in the pockets of those last 2 players that might have been able to help them out. There was a C4 sitting in the pocket of Drip that maybe could have equalized, wasn't really in position to do it. And there was a deployable shield in the pocket of Surf, which likely could have been placed down earlier, maybe found a bit of value.
Maybe just could have been a value.
There's some great shield places on this map. You know, you can put one inside of the piano, you can put it on the piano itself and find a lot of value there. Didn't end up being placed at all by Surf, so don't think it was the game changer. I think that that was definitely a round that was lost on the roam. Going down 3 players is pretty devastating, but still a couple of options that maybe could have been utilized a little bit better. They run the site back, and they're going to run it back with a castle, which is something I mentioned at the beginning of the last round. It can prevent a lot of these window angles from ruining your day. It does take the C4 away from Drip, but he didn't really use it last time anyways. Their opening death was slashed down on the bottom floor. That's something that's pretty easy to fix, right? You can avoid that by just not playing near that window. I believe it was in the boot room that he ended up getting taken down from. So if he's just playing a little bit safer down on that bottom floor, maybe even having a teammate, I think they'll be okay. I like that they're running this back. I don't like that they still don't play bar games, but you know, if that's something they don't like in scrims, if that's something about this team that they're just not fans of, then fair enough. I think repeating this bomb site with the operator changes that they've made is solid enough. And look, Surf put down a shield. Right on the piano, where I said he should.
Excellent job. Look at it. It's like he can hear you. Like your voice is being piped into their headsets.
If he is, that's a big problem. Somebody should fix that. But I don't believe that's the case.
That is true. Who would want to listen to you for any extended period of time?
Wow.
Talk about it. As I sit next to you.
Very rude.
By the way, it's It's a joke. Soniqs so far, though, in very firm control of this first half. Last opportunity for Beast Coast to narrow the gap before moving on to the more favorable side themselves. For Soniqs, obviously, a 4-2 half is fine, but 5-1 gives you a bit more breathing room because it's not common that we do see a 5-1 half, even on those really lopsided maps where bomb sites do not work in your favor. I don't know if Sweater got droned, by the way.
I don't know if that saw him either. It was right at his feet. He gets full blind anyways, so there's going to be some players that are droning him out now. Twitch drone going through. I don't
So we think, by the way.
know if it saw him there. Sweater, surely now he's known. He sprints out, almost gets punished. It's Rexon who opens the things up onto Slash. Big pick. Slash has got a lot of opening deaths so far in this matchup. He's died all 6 rounds. Another one from Grixer down below. Kansan on the Sweater. Boy, oh boy, this is starting to get rough. It's a 5v1, Parker.
Super needs a kill, Yeti needs a kill. There will be no team ace available yet again. These are the stats that we're going to track here. Half of the round for Soniqs to hunt down Anthony MGS. Old Metal Gear Solid himself. Right now inside a piano. He'll have to be very sneaky, just like Solids, just like we talk about.
That's true.
That sound effect.
That's
what is
true.
That? When he gets spotted.
Oh yeah, when he comes out from the box.
Yeah, you gotta. Somebody has to put that one into the actual gameplay itself. Kansan down as the diffuser being planted by Super. Anthony's job now gets even harder, and look at that crossfire angle. This
has been a game that's been decided early on in each of the rounds. Of course, switching sides now, maybe that will change, but that is kind of how Chalet tends to lean.
One thing that also really stands out to me is how poor the first gunfights were breaking for Beast Coast, despite the fact that the Soniqs weren't doing anything all that flashy. Half the time we saw it was Yeti or it was Rexon just peeking you. No utility being used. You weren't necessarily being droned out. You just had somebody jumping in a window and engaging off of you. How many times did we see Sweater trying to hold down the fort, just losing a gunfight? There's nothing more to it than that. He wasn't under pressure from drones. He wasn't getting flashed. He wasn't dodging nades. It was just him versus Rexon or him versus Grixer in a heads-up gunfight. And he lost. And everybody from Beast Coast seems to be struggling to shoot back today.
And it's going to get harder for Sweater because when he went off against SSG, when he dropped the 21 kill game or whatever his stat ended up being in that matchup, a lot of what he was playing was the best op in the game right now, Finka. He was rolling through the Finka time and time again. Soniqs have counterbanned that against him. He's going to opt for the Yana instead of the Finka. Could have gone for a Zofia or something here to continue on playing the LMGs. He's not going to have that available to him here now that he's playing on the Yana instead. One player we've seen do really well on Yana when Finka's been banned out has been Merc. I think Merc's done a really good job flexing onto that operator when Finka's not available on the board. Sweater, though, I'm not as confident. I haven't seen him play Yana too much so far this stage, so we'll see how it works out for him. But certainly the lack of Finka is going to be a nerf.
The NAL has been so close between these teams, as we've said on every single broadcast. Beast Coast with a victory today would vault all the way up to 2nd. Yes, that is correct. From 8th to 2nd with a win here in regulation. One more round, and they are denied the ability to do that as overtime will be required for their path on forward. If they lose here, Beast Coast's chance to go to the major takes a huge blow because their next two opponents are both Astralis, who sit in the top 4, and TSM, who, mind you, TSM had a very bad week last week, but other than that, have looked significantly better. That's not ideal. Surf walks in, and down goes Super, the first line of defense. By the top of Chimney, down he goes. Slash, a kill as well. Sweater taken out by Rexon means that the numbers for Beast Coast are still good, but not as good as they were. That's halfway through this round.
Surf's been really good so far for Beast Coast this stage, although he's gone now as Grixer takes him down, equalizing once again into the 3v3. We're in a position right now where it is the bar games. Bomb site, top floor is largely in control of Beast Coast. They have managed to work their way in. Slash is standing up there. Now Rexon's over in piano, so they do have a player who's still pressuring up above. He's on the Oryx, so that does give him a lot of flexibility to move back down, jump up hatches if he needs to. There is, of course, the kitchen hatch back below him. They can try to play around, but they know he's there. He's deciding to back off instead, getting the only person in sight. They're jumping in, though, and they're looking to go for a plant.
Very close, too. Yeti lighting him up right now, failing to hit the head. Come on. There he goes. Nice shot. Poor coverage on the window. There's another vault in from Beast Coast that will need to be had with the diffuser surrendered. Slash from above. He's got some pings, but not a ton of information. Nicely killed onto Yeti, and just like that, Soniqs actually decide to peek for the last 2 kills, lose both those gunfights, and...
All right.
Okay. Beast Coast win their very first attack, and it does indeed look like an attacker-sided Chalet.
That's good. Games is, again, typically the strongest defender bomb site that we have. So Beast Coast being able to open things up, win Soniqs' preferred map is great. That shot from Yeti, he had way too much time to kill Super as he was planting. He definitely wanted to see better window coverage to shut that down. Obviously, you know, wasn't aiming at the big window to stop that from happening. Had to cross through the angle as well. So there were opportunities to get that frag, but unfortunately it just didn't happen. Great planted denial initially. But Beast Coast still walk away with the round. They go to Kitchen bomb site next up for Beast Coast. This is a bomb site that they played 3 times when they were defending themselves, but Soniqs bringing up this bomb site, very high win rate. They played this bomb site 5 times in stage 1. They won it 4 out of those 5 times. 3 games that they ended up playing this. So this is a very good site for SQ. It's a good chance they push it to 6 here.
Again, that guarantees you at least 1 point as you go into overtime. 3 rounds determine who moves forward. For both of these teams who are currently on the outside of the playoff bubble, not in a position to go to Berlin just yet, you have to imagine that overtime is like mutually assured destruction at this point. It's not a great result for either team. Even if you are Soniqs and you go to OT and you win, you're looking at a very strong schedule for some of these teams at the top. Again, it is so close that even the bottom place team that hasn't been eliminated yet, which is Space Station, would be in position to go to the Berlin Major with a win today, depending on what happens with other teams. So it's a squeaker. Games are going to start to matter an awful lot. They always do. But today, tomorrow, and next week, this is do or die for a lot of these teams, because there will come a point where your fate is out of your hands and you just simply cannot make up enough points because your opponents are also not dropping points the way you need them to.
Beast Coast, 2 minutes, and they're still just getting into Library. They've got full control of it now. Soniqs not pressuring that very hard at all. You see the operators, they're bringing lots of site utility. You've got Toxic Babes, you've got Maestro Evil Eyes as well, you've got Banshees. You've got a lot that can really help out the anchors. They've got a shield up here around Piano. Rexon for the jump out, and he finds it. Nice little opener onto Sweater. He's the player that we were supposed to be watching for, but he's been quiet so far.
Oh my God, Rexon! What a phenomenal bit of teamwork on that play. And suddenly, you said 6 looking likely on this bomb site. Well, I mean, if you play like that, it doesn't really matter what bomb site you're going to go to. Drip waltzes on in, executes Grixer. Could we see another from Drip Stan himself? No. Kansan has the lineup on that one. It's all up to Slash. MVP from 2 weeks ago.
That's true.
Very well-traveled player, a journeyman, some would say, and he's currently journeyed into a 1v4. So, Diffuser not within reach, opponents out of reach, clock still working in your favor, 1 grenade, but your sledge, you're not going to be able to do too much other than just grab the Diffuser and maybe go for a pick. And he has to be wary of exactly where these SQ players are, all of whom are going to exhibit great patience. As Yeti was the story on attack, indisputably the best player for Soniqs. Rexon has come online for this round, and it is greatly helping the chances of Soniqs. 20 seconds have been burned off the clock. Finally, the Diffuser picked back up by Slash, but he's still got miles to go to get into the bomb site. And they know where he is. They've been doing chip damage to each other all the while that we've seen Slash upstairs.
Soniqs are a very disciplined team. They are not going to overswing things when they don't need to. They could go for a flank at some point, 20 seconds on the clock. The nice thing about Slash is he's on the sledge, so he can create these top-down angles for himself. He can look through the floorboards when he has the chance, but so passive from Soniqs. They're playing this so smart. As soon as he drops, he's going to be in crossfires. 10 seconds. This is not winnable. There we go.
Super to get the kill. Stat padding at this present moment. Again, I just want to tip of the hat to Yeti for the way that he played on attack, because we have spent a lot of time dwelling on how poor his performance has been for Soniqs so far this stage. His numbers are not great, but he's come awake at the right time. And the other thing too is that Yeti is a very capable player, so even if Yeti's numbers go underwater, similar to what we see at a Super, the rest of the team can pick up the pieces. I will say that while Yeti was the story on that first half, this has been a team effort the whole game.
Absolutely.
There's been nobody who has really done poorly. Kansan has been the quietest player on the team, but he's been playing utility. So his job was effective. He was playing that line on attack for so long, and now he's just flexing on defense wherever they need him to go.
Yeah, everybody even or positive on Soniqs, everybody negative on Beast Coast. I mean, in a 6-2 game, that's going to be expected. I'm really disappointed from what we've seen from Sweater so far. I mean, he's the guy that carried Beast Coast to a big win over Space Station when they last played this map. He had a crazy good stat line in that game, and now he's 2-8. Hasn't gotten a single kill on attack so far. Again, I think Soniqs banning out that Finka was a really good call by them. They banned Finka instead of the Thatcher. That was kind of what I was expecting to see from them. That's what they usually ban on this map, looking back to last stage. And then not only do I think that that Finka ban was really effective, but I think Soniqs used Thatcher really well through that first half. It allowed Yeti to get a lot of those walls open. It allowed them to really get those entry points when they needed to, made the Kaid from Drip completely irrelevant. So I think Soniqs played the operator bans really, really well here. Maybe a small thing to start the game, but I did really like that at the start.
I like that you highlighted Sweater's play on this team. Not that we want to send any undue hate to these players, but
of course not.
Sweater has really not fulfilled his role on the team, and his role has been to win early engagements, blunt the entry of Soniqs, and then on defense, hold map control as long as he can. On attack, he's going to be the main entry for this team on most of their executes. He has failed on almost all of his first engagements. Those stats are quite poor right now, and it does drag down the whole team, because if you are losing your most potent offensive force, who is also tasked with keeping the rest of the defense intact so that nobody has to reposition to cover for you, things slowly start to fall apart. And really, the metaphor is that Sweater's that first domino, and it's a big domino that brings the rest of the team down in a lot of ways. And you can see when we were talking about the Soniqs on entry, how fantastic they were at jumping in, getting those first kills with limited issue. And now with Sweater just not able to contest and losing those gunfights.
Sweater has the most kills per round of any player in the league right now, averaging 1.1 kills every single round that he plays. He's found 75 frags before this game. That's being bumped up to a massive 77 as of this game so far. Of course, not matching that performance. That stat likely to drop below first place after their game finishes today. But it's not technically over. They're down on the Wine bomb site, and as I've said a couple of times on this cast, I think this bomb site is bad. So if Beast Coast are clearing effectively, if they're willing to push this bomb site from the Wine side, which I do think is the strongest, they can find success. They've gotten control of the entire north side of the map, right? They've got this kitchen control, so they can go for a basic push in through Wine, slash the one-player garage. Anthony, though, finding Super makes that even better. They've got that kill. It was kind of the elbow locked in from Super. He's kind of played these death spots a lot so far this stage, and usually it has been working out. Unfortunately, not today.
People also commonly will think of Super's position on Oregon, too, where he would play in that same elbow spot. Nade goes in by Sweater. We spoke of how he needed to start finding some kills, and there's one to his name. 3 kills for Sweater, though, here in round number 9 is not ideal. Nade goes in, Kansan can capitalize. Missed opportunity, wary of being shot from the other angle. There's Kansan with one. How does he get away with those both? Servant Anthony just fed to the wood chipper, and Grixer gets a 2-piece. It's all up to Drip. Can he do any real damage? He'll chip away at Kansan, find the kill before heading towards the bomb site. There are plenty of players from Soniqs lining up for him, but it's Rexon on the re-engage to shove the dagger through the heart of Beast Coast. Wow, that was a quick one. 7-2 for Soniqs. They make light work of Beast Coast on a map that we know Beast Coast aren't usually that bad on.
That was their 6th time ever defending Wine and Snowmobile.